Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Halloween movies. Let's get right into it. Every year around this time of the year, movies about demons, monsters, and death start to rise in viewership. The month of October is the month of fall leaves, chilly weather, and everything spooky. When most people think of October, they think about Halloween, the day where scary is embraced and people dress up as their worst nightmares for a night of fun. Most people I know celebrate Halloween, and I'm pretty sure some of you watching this video do as well. Every year, people dress up and embrace their evil side for just one night, but why? Have you ever asked yourself why people even celebrate Halloween? Or what Halloween even stands for? What if I told you that Halloween wasn't just a made-up holiday for kids, but instead an ancient pagan tradition? Last year around this time of the year, I made a video breaking down the dark truth about Halloween. But considering I made that video when I only had like 50,000 subscribers, there's a big chance many of you didn't see that video. So I will give you guys a quick breakdown on the origins of Halloween. The origins of Halloween are far more sinister than just costumes, candy, and parties. It's truly a pagan festival called Samhain that was celebrated by the Celtics and the Druids to bring in what the pagans called the dark half of the year. The pagans believed that on October 31st, the god of death would rise with the spirits and cause destruction by destroying crops and bringing cold and dark winters. To appease the god of death, the pagans would dress in costumes that resembled the spirits to show their alliance to the god. They would build altars and make food offerings and even ritual sacrifices in honor of the god of death. The kids would be dressed as demonic spirits and would be sent door to door saying ritual verses in exchange for food offerings for the god. It was believed to be a day where the spiritual world was set free. On Samhain, the Druids and the Celtics were also known to participate in human and animal offerings to the god of death. The Druids were known to even offer up their firstborn child to the god. The pagan would perform a ritual where they would even drink the blood of the human offerings alongside of a bunch of other disturbing things. One of the most disturbing traditions during Samhain was when they hollowed up pumpkins and turnips and filled them with human fat from their offerings. This is what is being celebrated when we celebrate Halloween. So how did a festival like Samhain evolve into Halloween? After the resurrection of Jesus, the Romans knew that times were going to be changing. A Roman emperor by the name of Constantine the Great, who was into pagan worship, claimed that he had a vision from the heavens, convincing him to turn to Christianity. He claimed that the Christian God was going to protect him in a war he was having. Constantine will become the first Roman emperor to become a Catholic, popularizing the Catholic religion, helping establish the Roman Catholic Church. The Romans created the Catholic Church to be able to capitalize on the rise of Christianity and to be able to keep their beliefs alive. They kept their pagans' beliefs and intertwined them with Christian beliefs and created the Catholic Church. They would even introduce a form of pagan god worship to the Catholic religion by creating holy saints that were really pagan gods in disguise. They also converted many pagan festivals and rituals into Catholic holidays, including Halloween, which eventually became All Saints' Day or Hallows' Day. The Romans disguised their pagan holidays as a new Christian holiday. The people would wear costumes to fight off vengeful spirits that were after them. The kids went door to door, gathering soul cakes in exchange for prayers. These soul cakes were offerings so that they may set the souls free from purgatory. This was all done to make offering to the spirits. Turnips were lit up with candles to keep the evil spirits away. All the Romans really did was disguise their pagan festival and make it into a Catholic tradition. All the same activities that took place in Samhain took place in All Saints' Day, which evolved into modern-day Halloween. Like I've said countless times on this channel, I believe the Romans and the pagans worshipped the fallen angels who disguised themselves as gods. The Romans made sacrifices to these gods for their blessings. Halloween is nothing more than a pagan festival created to worship pagan gods. Every year, millions of people blindly participate in pagan traditions without giving it a second thought. Every year on October 31st, people all over the country give their energy to the god of death blindly by watching these horror movies during the fall. This is why so many of them are being shown. And this is exactly what we see with the Halloween movies. The Halloween movie series are shown every year during October, and it has become a staple in the yearly Halloween traditions. To most people, the Halloween movies are just about the psychopathic serial killer Michael Myers, who goes around terrorizing his childhood town. For the most part, this is a pretty accurate description of the movie, but there's way more to the backstory of this movie that many people have no idea about. Most people who watch the Halloween movies think that Michael Myers is just a psychopath who does all this evil because he's crazy, and well, evil. But what if I told you Michael wasn't doing these evil deeds at his own free will? See, the real story of why Michael Myers goes on these rampages on Halloween has a lot to do with the origins of Halloween itself. What many people don't know about Michael Myers is that he's actually possessed by the god of death, who forces him to make ritual offerings every year during Samhain. The backstory of Michael Myers goes all the way back to the time of the Druids and the Code of Thorn. The Code of Thorn was a cult of Druids who were being terrorized by the god of death. The god would destroy their village and people every year during Samhain. In order to appease the demon, the cult would place a curse on a child in the village, and that child would be forced to ritually sacrifice their entire family to the god of death in return, sparing the town. The Code of Thorn would continue their traditions, eventually placing the curse on Michael Myers. Michael Myers was a descendant of one of the Druids who were a part of the Code of Thorn. So Michael ended up being chosen by the cult to be the vessel of the demon. This is the reason we see Michael go after his family on Halloween night. It is also the reason why in every movie he is trying to take out his sister. Michael is possessed by the god of death, when in reality is just another representation of Lucifer. Every one of those people you see in the movie that Michael gets is just a sacrifice for the demon. This is why he so viciously destroys anyone who gets in his way. He is possessed by pure evil. In the movie, we see that nothing can end Michael. It's because his body is being used as a vessel. The reason this movie was even made was to continue to show the worship of these pagan gods. This movie is shown every year during the month of October, when the Druids were known to do all these human offerings and satanic rituals. This is what we see a representation of every year during Halloween through these movies. At this point, we all know Hollywood is ran by the Masonic Order. These offerings are still being done, even if they're only acted out. This is what Masons do at their lodges. They act out sacrifices and rituals. It still represents the act of a sacrifice or a ritual to a false god. This is why new Halloween movies are still being made over 40 years later to keep the pagan rituals alive in the house of millions of people. In the second Halloween movie, which was kind of a spin-off and had nothing to do with Michael Myers, we still saw the same theme. The Code of Thorn wanted to ritually offer all the kids to the god of death. The entire movie was about doing a ritual that would allow the Code of Thorn to wipe out all the kids that were wearing the Halloween mask the cult was selling. The movie made it obvious that the purpose of this movie was to keep the satanic traditions of Samhain alive. Now, I'm not telling any of you to not celebrate Halloween, as this is not my point with making this video. I simply just want to make sure you guys know what you're exposing yourselves to. Most people that watch the Halloween movies don't even know why Michael is doing all this evil. Most people who celebrate Halloween don't even know where Halloween comes from. I want to make sure you guys know the truth. This way, you can pick on your own what you want to give your energy to. I myself used to celebrate Halloween as a child, but ever since I found out what Halloween truly represented, I couldn't give that holiday my energy anymore. The entire Halloween movie is just one giant mock sacrifice for the pagan god of death, a movie that is played every year by millions, giving their energy to this fallen god. We must remember that those who run our world have done a great job at manipulating our minds and convincing us that evil is good. They have tricked us to follow pagan traditions, enjoying their evil. We must remember that they have a sinister goal of guiding us to a burning end. And like I always say, we must remember that every day we wake up, our souls are at stake. And we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon, where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truthfist store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truthfist store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like, as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.